Hello everyone. Today we're going to tackle a big topic, cookware. For an amateur drummer like me, it obviously rings a bell. Except it's a little bit different though, right? It's an important area and an expensive one too. That's why you have to choose your equipment carefully. You have to be smart about it. You need to know how to adapt it for as many preparations as possible. And I get a lot of questions about this, and it's normal. People are a bit lost. There are many materials. There's Teflon, copper, aluminum, stainless steel, cast iron. It's easy to get a bit lost in all of that. So I'm going to help you. I'll point you in the right direction to choose the most suitable material for as many preparations as possible. There are also plenty of shapes, plenty of different sizes. You need them for steaming, for the oven, for the stovetop. Anyway, you can really get lost when you look into it deeply. To organize everything properly, we'll go by cooking method, if that sounds good to you, and choose the right equipment based on the cooking we want to do. Now, before we start, it is worth mentioning that I've made 2 other comprehensive videos about knives. That's an important video. And also about all the different equipment we use in the kitchen. You can see those videos appearing there in the description right down there. So I'll also put the link in the description to my online shop, because it's true that the specific gear and equipment I use in my videos is the equipment I have in that store. Well, a little bit of advertising doesn't hurt. I'm allowed to treat myself to that, right? You'll see it's really high quality equipment. All right, let's get started. So there are 4 main types of cooking. We'll start with boiling and steaming. These are the ones that generally require the least demanding equipment, so the cheapest. We just need to get the water up to 100 degrees. Above all, don't spend your whole budget on it. It's pointless. So let's talk about the good old stock pot. I specifically brought out the glass pot I use in my videos to show you what you definitely shouldn't buy. Now, glass doesn't work on gas, it doesn't work on induction either, and it can break at any time. It remains quite fragile. It's only so you can see through it during my videos to see what's going on inside. It's purely visual. The only material I can recommend as a professional is stainless steel. In fact, you'll see that almost everything I've recommended is made of stainless steel. So for this type of cooking, you don't need a 3 or 5 layer construction. See, that's the expensive part. Here, 1 layer is enough. That's what's underneath. It's called a sandwich base. So you see this piece attached right here will heat the bottom of your pot. To boil water, well, that's enough. We can even do some browning at the start of a recipe. To choose your pot well, then, what matters is the size. It's important to have a large vessel when making big batches of broth, especially stocks, stews, soups, and many others. You often have to put in all the ingredients, plus 3 to 4 liters of water, vegetables, carcasses, poultry, bones. So it's good to have something with proportionate dimensions. I recommend getting a pot 24 centimeters wide, so 24 centimeters high, since normally the height equals the width, which makes about 10 liters and is more than enough for home cooking. And also because it doesn't, take up too much space, on your stovetop. Beyond that, it gets a bit more complicated. We'll move on to the steamer basket and then the lid, of course. So here we take the same 24 centimeter diameter for both, naturally. That way your lid can also be used independently of this steamer basket. You'll see we're often at 24 centimeters precisely to have as much versatility as possible. Now, regarding the choice of steamer basket, we'll save time since there's not much to say about it. Pick something that seems solid, reliable, and ideally from the same brand as your cookware set. That way you're sure it fits together well. And here's a little tip while we're at it. With the steamer, you can stack several of them. Fans of steam cooking will thank me. As for the lid, not much to say there either. Glass has the advantage of being transparent. At home, I prefer it because you can see through it. It's practical. But if it takes a big hit, well, obviously it can break. So in professional kitchens, for example, we only use stainless steel. All right, it's time to get down to business with the most demanding cooking where we'll be in direct contact with the surface. So we need to have heat coming from both the bottom and the sides, I should say the bottom and the walls. And that's what makes all the difference. The best way to do that, without mentioning copper, which is very expensive and hard to maintain, is 3-ply stainless steel. It's a good compromise for me. In fact, here it's not just the bottom that heats up, since the middle layer, the second one, will conduct heat almost to the top. What you see here is the saute pan. For the size, always 24, so you can put the lid and the steamer on top. It's in the saute pan that you will do the majority of your cooking work. If you look at my recipes, you've seen that I use it a lot. And that's normal because its proportions allow you to do many things. So this is where you should put your budget. Here and in these two saucepans, yes, I recommend just 2 diameters. No need to have 5 or 6. It's pointless. Better to have 2 good ones than 5 or 6 bad ones, believe me. A medium 20 centimeter one and a small 16 centimeter one. That way, with the 4 sizes we've just seen, well, you can really do everything. We're still using 3-ply. The shape of the handle matters a lot too. It should have a good grip, and all the handles in your set must be made of a material, well, that's oven safe. Very important criterion, because we often pop things in the oven to finish browning or keep warm or even finish cooking for that matter. We're moving on to my favorite type of cooking, high heat cooking. What do I call high heat cooking? Well, most of the time it's going to be for properly searing meat. The higher the heat, the better the crust. A beautiful caramelization that will keep the juices inside. That's the secret to perfect cooking. What you need to know is that there's only one material that allows you to reach such high temperatures on gas, and that's steel. It turns out it's much less technical to manufacture than 3-ply, and one size will suffice. So budget-wise, this one won't break the bank. And since it's steel, believe me, it will last you a lifetime. We're a long way from non-stick coated pans that you have to replace regularly every year, maybe every 2 years, depending on use. And for the size, I think the best compromise is 28 centimeters. That makes a base of about 24 since the edges are curved. Actually, you should see this pan as a small griddle. And we'll finish with oven cooking. There's almost one mold for every cake. But if we had to narrow down the list of essentials, we'd have the adjustable round mold. There are also square ones for those who prefer making squares. This one, for example, goes from 18 to 36 centimeters wide, which is plenty. And you can even make layers if you want. It's really the 4x4 of molds. Now, most of the time, you're going to place it on a baking mat. So the baking mat is a kind of super parchment paper that you can reuse, on which, besides doing all the usual things with parchment paper, you can make caramel, a biscuit, obviously, and many other things. So you see, it will darken over time. Now this one, it's been in all my videos. And here's how it looked before. When the adjustable ring is too big, I recommend having some pastry cutters. There are 4 pastry cutters. So what we use most in restaurants are the 8 centimeter diameter ones by 5 high, which complement the adjustable ring that starts at 18 in diameter. You can either use it as a convenient mold to make individual portions, or as a precise pastry cutter. That's making a hole in a dough, for example, to cut out a piece. And as a bonus, I'm going to show you how to make shelves. You see, we place them at the 4 corners of a rack or a tray and stack them. It's handy when we're missing a level in the oven, for example. Come on, I'll still show you a more classic tart dish for its pretty glass border, because it's also a good material for working at home, even if it's a bit more fragile. In any case, it's better than plastic or silicone, that's for sure. So I really do hope this video has helped you make your final decision to make the right choices for your cooking. Anyway, don't forget there are 2 extra videos right there, which are in the description here. One on knives, one on small utensils, which are also very important in the kitchen. There, all that's left is to say, see you soon for a next video. Bye. To equip yourself with quality gear, everything I use is available on my online store. To not miss any videos and become real chefs, subscribe by clicking on my head. And for those who missed my last video, it's right there.